When most people think of real estate investing, they usually assume a few things. One, they think they need a lot of money to get started. And two, they think they need to own a lot of property to make money. That is simply not true, and it's all thanks to a little something called rental arbitrage. Now, obviously, owning a property isn't a bad thing, but through this method, you can work with the landlord to rent out their property on Airbnb, and you can make a lot of money doing so. We believe this video will give you all the information you need to make your decision on using rental arbitrage to invest in real estate. In return, we ask that you please subscribe to our channel, and we will personally respond to every comment of each video to answer any questions you may have for us. With that being said, let's talk about what exactly is rental arbitrage. Welcome to Life of a Landlord. The word arbitrage is a financial term that basically means taking commodities from one marketplace and selling them for a profit in another. In reference to Airbnb, it means an investor rents a property from a landlord, then lists it on Airbnb and collects the difference. For example, let's say you rent a condo for $1,500 per month, and then you list it on Airbnb for $4,500 per month. Before expenses, you collect $3,000 per month in profit. And now keep in mind that expenses can range from $250 to $1,000 per month, depending on your strategy. Most rental arbitrage investors aim to make around $1,000 net profit per property, although you can make a whole lot more. Now, one question you might ask would be, is rental arbitrage legal? When I first came across this model, I had several questions. Namely, is this legal, and how will the landlord respond when they find out? Fortunately, yes, it's completely legal. In fact, the rental arbitrage strategy has been used for a long time. It's just not talked about often. Like many creative investment strategies, it stems from the realm of commercial real estate. First, you must tell the landlord about your intentions for the property. Some will be open to it, others won't. And if you encounter one who isn't, you move on. Honesty is key. How to make money on Airbnb without owning property. Learning how to work with landlords is essential to successful rental arbitrage. After all, we're not trying to be sneaky, so how can you convince landlords to work with you? First, remind them of the benefits for them. When a landlord rents their property to someone doing rental arbitrage, they can rest assured knowing they are getting a long-term business-to-business tenant with a financial incentive to keep their property in tip-top shape year-round. During arbitrage, you rent the property at full market rate, or maybe even a little higher to sweeten the deal, as long as it works with your business plan. The property owner's equity is increasing, and they're getting a little bit of cash flow every single month. Now, some investors worry that Airbnb guests will destroy the house. Every now and then, someone may do something destructive. That's part of the rental business, and it's usually a very small percentage of the guests. It's a risk with traditional renters too. Plus, with Airbnb, there are courses of action you can take to get reimbursed, not to mention a free $1 million liability policy for listed properties. When someone using the arbitrage model rents a property from a landlord, it is in their best interest to keep the property in great status. For the landlord, this means the property will be in top selling condition all year long. Now, a great way to convince Airbnb hosts who are willing to work with you is to explain to them the many benefits that come out of the business model. Some strategies you may want to offer is adding additional third-party entrants to ease their mind. You can also offer profit sharing, which you give the owner a percentage of the profits you receive from each deal. And lastly, you can offer to rent out multiple properties for them at once. This will in return help relieve them of any headaches associated with managing a large portfolio. How to get started in Airbnb arbitrage. You don't need to be a homeowner or have a lot of capital to get started with Airbnb. In fact, the costs associated with listing your first property are pretty low, even more so because we're using other people's properties. First off, you need to set up your business. If you plan on scaling your portfolio beyond 3 properties, begin by starting your business property. Set up a solid foundation and infrastructure to conduct business in good standing and grow effectively. Start with a legal entity. For most people, an LLC works best. It's easy to set up and simple to manage and offers favorable tax options. Doing this now will help you find more deals later on when you start searching for properties. Plus, some property management companies won't allow you to perform rental arbitrage without a corporate lease. Take inventory of your assets, resources, and network. What can you leverage for immediate success? Number 2, you want to build your team out. Like any good business owner or real estate investor, you need a good team. It's easy to handle everything yourself at first, but you'll want additional support once you start to scale. Your core business team should consist of your accountant and your attorney. These 2 team members will guide you around common newbie pitfalls. Here's what to look for. For an attorney, you want someone who specializes in corporate law and/or real estate. Even better if they have personal experience with real estate investors and other rental property owners. For an accountant, they should understand tax strategy and have experience with real estate investors. In addition to these key members, you'll eventually need a real estate agent, bookkeeper, interior designer, photographer, cleaning crew, and general contractor. Number 3, you'll want to do market research. Most people who get into Airbnb don't conduct any market research beyond a Google search, if that. Just because you have a nice property and you think it's in a popular part of town doesn't mean it's going to be successful. The Airbnb website can tell you a lot about your market if you know what to look for. Your job is to discover these market-specific details and then repeat them in your own business strategy. What attractions are visitors talking about in your city? It could be beaches, parks, shopping, or bars. Look for this information in the descriptions of the top Airbnb listings, the reviews, and with Google searches on various travel sites. This will give you a better idea of where to look for properties. Number 4 is finding properties. Now that your real market data shows you exactly what areas are most profitable, what home types people like, and what attractions guests want to visit, it's time to find your first property. There are many rental property search tools online, and you can use whichever one you feel comfortable with. I recommend Zillow. Search for your market, selecting the filters, and then apply your metrics. Once you narrow your search down to the exact submarket or zip code you are considering, it's just a matter of analysis. You may have to sort through 50 to 100 rental properties before you find your needle in the haystack, but this effort will be rewarded in the end. Number 5 is listing your property. Listing your property is pretty straightforward. Just follow the instructions on the Airbnb page by selecting Become a Host. You can create a dummy profile to get started and then create your real listing later on. After you are set up, you can create your own schedule, set requirements for guests, and establish your daily rates. From there, everything is taken care of on the Airbnb website and app, which is what makes this model so easy to get into. Number 6 is optimizing your listing. Now that you have your property set up on the Airbnb platform, you can begin optimizing your profile to attract more guests. Every profile has a rank, which is determined by an internal algorithm only known to Airbnb. Just like Google search results, there are many known white hat methods of increasing your rank and attracting more guests. Great pictures are essential. We recommend hiring a professional photographer. It will cost a couple $100, but if not, then at least learn a little about lighting and photo editing. Your pictures are one of the first things people notice. Often, tourists make immediate yes or no decisions based on the quality and appeal of the photos. If you want good examples of great photos and top-of-the-line listings, then click the Airbnb Plus homes to view your market's top-rated properties. Do your best to model your profile after the top performers. A lot of people who get into Airbnb just wing it and try to come up with everything by themselves. This is why most people get mediocre results. Number 7 is automating your business. Successfully building an Airbnb portfolio that generates thousands of dollars per month is pretty awesome, but being stuck working 100 hours per week to maintain it certainly isn't. We didn't get into business and investing so we can work 2 or 3 times as much as everyone else. We invest because we want freedom, control, and options. Establishing appropriate systems to run your Airbnb business with minimal effort and maximum income. A co-host is your most powerful automation technique. Find someone you can trust with experience in the hospitality and real estate industries. This person will be the face of your business on the properties that they represent and manage. They will be responsible for handling guest questions and providing additional services. Think of a co-host as an internal Airbnb property manager for you and your listings. Next, you want to automate the check-in process. Do you really want to personally drive to each listing and greet every single guest? Get around this burden by developing a self-check-in process for your guests. Starting a business with Airbnb is one of the best models for people with a lot of real estate experience or startup capital, because a lot of the mechanics are handled for you. However, it's even better if you do have these things, because you will be able to launch and scale your business that much faster. If you put your head down and diligently work on this, you will be making a six-figure income in 12 to 18 months, a level of success almost unheard of in most industries. And to wrap it up, we hope you enjoyed the video, and to stay up to date on all of our real estate content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you won't miss out. Until next time, stay blessed, friends, and we'll see you in the next video.